The effects of climate change have been hard to miss. Record heat, wildfires, and warming oceans.
A new report from the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has highlighted the vicious cycle of climate change and land degradation.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil.
Soil and climate is a unit. It's not separate. Soil properties, land use, and climate. Each is dependent on each other.
Maximum amount of carbon was always in the soil, but now a lot of it is in the atmosphere where it should not be. But nearly 40% of this is happening simply because soil is left open. For this, the main contributor is agriculture or open lands. The same soil which would have taken carbon dioxide and methane from the atmosphere is now releasing it simply because we are leaving it open and there is no life or microbial activity. Without enhancing the soil biome, sequestering carbon just by this and that technology is not the answer, because carbon is not our enemy. We are all carbon life. Life on this planet is a chain of carbon. In this chain, the life cycle or the carbon cycle, soil is the most important link, and that is wearing thin, very thin, dangerously thin. You heard of dinosaurs going extinct, dodos going extinct, but what we are facing now is soil extinction. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. That's not a world in which you want to live. And 2045 is not too far away, it is in your lifetimes you will see this, it is not future. So, this problem, the soil as an issue, climate change as an issue, is not about future generations, it has come.
Soil is a basic entity on which all terrestrial life depends. 95% of all the food which is consumed by human comes from soil. As much as 95% of all antibiotics taken by human and animal come from soil. So soil and life have evolved together. There is no soil without life, and there is no life without soil.
In a handful of soil, there are over 5 to 7 billion organisms. Only because of gut microbes that are there, we digest food. The same is true with all the plants and trees. They cannot take the nutrients from the soil by themselves. They need the help of the microorganisms.
Good guy bacteria, good guy fungi, protozoa, nematodes, microarthropods, earthworms, incatrioids, all of those organisms are required to have a good, healthy soil so your plant gets the balance of everything that it needs every second of every day.
See, right now, the organisms here, the only food they can eat is organic content. Where will the organic content come from? It is only the green litter from the trees or the animal waste which can put organic content into the soil. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%.
3% is kind of the borderline, where you've got enough diversity in the kinds of foods that are present so that all of the necessary sets of microorganisms will be able to perform their jobs. In most of the Western world, we have so destroyed the sets of species of different functional groups that we're on the edge of not being able to come back from that.
over 62% of India's soil has organic content less than 0.5%. Entire southern Europe, the soil organic content is just around 1% or below. Over 50% of the topsoil in whole of United States is gone. See, this is sand. If you add enough organic content into this will become rich soil. Similarly, if you take all the organic content out of the soil, it will become sand. So this is called as desertification in the world. World's agricultural soils are becoming sand or turning into a desert largely across the world because there is no organic content. So we are seeing how to get a policy in 192 countries to make this the norm, that if you own agricultural land, minimum 3 to 6% organic content must be there by law. Initially by recommendation, then by incentives, and then by law. To bring the law, what is needed? This is a democracy. That means people are the power, it's people's power. That's what it means. So this is important. The people of the world have to speak and say, we are ready for long-term solutions. So as a part of this, in 2022, I rode from London to Kaveri on a motorcycle, 30,000 kilometers in 100 days. I was 65.
As for the Muslim World League, we are completely ready to help you.
You've inspired me to think about soil very differently.
You honor the people of this country. I want to thank you very much.
सद्गुरु जी ने यात्रा की, अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा काम किया है।
Dear Sadhguru, one of the world's voices and leaders on soil conservation.
The movement that you are taken up as a soil scientist, I could not expect any more God's blessing than that.
Join the Conscious Planet movement to save soil.
Save soil. Let us make it happen.
Save soil. Let's make it happen.
I don't want this COP15 to end as one more convention with more paper and more paper. This must end with concrete action, and action in such a way that it's implementable.
Yogi Sadhguru, the founder of the Save Soil movement, spoke at COP28.
If 60% of any electorate clearly states, we are concerned about the soil, what about our children, what are you doing for them? If you don't do this, we will not elect you. This will become the electoral issue. Once it's an electoral issue, it's action.
He has the magic.
The celebration happened, the attention is moved towards soil, that's a big celebration for us.
It's not that suddenly we thought of Save Soil movement.
I've been campaigning for soil regeneration for over 30 years now.
This journey, and in terms of experience, it started very early in my life, from 1998. On that year, some UN agencies came to Tamil Nadu and made a prediction that by 2025, 60% of Tamil Nadu will be facing desertification. In my experience, I felt it'll happen well before 2025 because 3 perennial rivers had dried up in Tamil Nadu. When I saw this, I thought we need to do something. So based on this, we started a movement called Project Green Hands, which planted millions of trees, still continuing to do that. And we saw a significant improvement in the soil quality, in the nutritional values of the food, and above all, for the farmer, it is an economic process because in 7 to 8 years' time, his income is going up anywhere between 300 to 800%. My work is to officiate the marriage of economy and ecology because if these two things don't come together, ecology will be beaten. Based on this, we launched the next thing because I saw there were many policy anomalies to plant trees in the land. How this was affected is, I drove from Kanyakumari to Himalayan region in 29 days, covering 16 states. At that time, in these 16 states, there were 6 different political parties. We got absolute participation from all those political parties because there were 162 million people supporting the movement. We must understand, in a democracy, there is only one currency, that is the numbers, the people. I gave this policy document to the Prime Minister at about 6:20 in the evening. Next day before 11 o'clock, just before 11 o'clock, the PMO calls us and says, a special cell has been formed and they want a soft copy. Within 3.5 months, the Niti Aayog made this a recommendation policy for all the 28 states.
मैंने तो आपके प्रयासों को खुद देखा है। नदियों की निर्मलता और अविरलता को आपने जिस प्रकार से बल दिया है, समर्पण भाव से काम किया है।
So that is the story of Rally for Rivers. We knew that we had to manifest something which is a large-scale sample. This is why we took up Kaveri Calling.
Kaveri Calling is not just a tree plantation program. It's much more than that. It's unique because together with other Save Soil initiatives, it offers end-to-end support to farmers. This is done through training and hand-holding farmers during their adoption of tree-based agriculture by providing low-cost saplings. Guidance and support during the gestation period and connecting them to merchants who will buy it at fair pricing.
UNCCD, looking at the success of Kaveri Calling, is right now projecting Kaveri Calling as an ideal project in tropical world.
Kaveri Calling could also be a large-scale project that helps improve the living conditions of the most vulnerable populations while rehabilitating the land that sustains all of us.
To me, you are the incarnation of the Sustainable Development Goals, so thank you so much.
The movement also supports farmers through farmer-producer companies.
We are spearheading this movement called Farmer-Producer Organization, where farmers are coming together and forming a corporation-like thing so that they have the power of scale. We are envisioning FPOs with 10 to 25,000 farmers coming together.
Money from the sale is deposited in our bank account. It is that easy.
Today, when we market our produce, we receive a good response. Many doors are opening for us.
Let us say 10,000 farmers with adjacent lands came together.
we can cause a revolution and set up an example that how farm life can be changed dramatically. In 5 years' duration, we can multiply their income significantly, we can change the soil composition.
We have created model farms across South India to demonstrate how regenerative agriculture can help revitalize soil, water, and agriculture itself. These models and our model farmers have inspired thousands of farmers to adopt regenerative agriculture practices for the crops that they have been growing for decades. These regenerative practices have significantly enhanced farmers' income because the quality and also the quantity of the produce has improved. And consumers are more than happy to pay premium for healthy and nutritionally dense foods.
अलग अलग कंपनियां तो कई सारी बनी हैं, लेकिन मिट्टी बचाने के लिए कोई कंपनी बनी हो ऐसा कहीं पर नहीं हुआ है। पहले स्टार्ट किया था हमने काम एक छोटे 40 गाँव में, लेकिन अब आने वाले समय में 1500 से ज़्यादा गाँव में ये काम पहुंच जाएगा। सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान के लिए नहीं, पूरी दुनिया के लिए ये रोल मॉडल बनेगा, मुझे भरोसा है।
I would like to thank Isha Save Soil Movement. I'm implementing all the things I learn in every training program, and whatever I need for my children and family, I'm able to produce from my own farm.
I have introduced trees into my farm. Now my farm has trees along with cash crops. Earlier when we tested the organic content in the soil, it was only 0.5%. Now it has increased to 1.3%.
1.30 mark. As the organic content of the soil increased, the quantity of the coconuts in the coconut trees also increased. The weight of the coconuts also increased. Farming has become lucrative for us. We are also getting additional income through the multi-cropping method.
Soil. In the roots, there is a stalk. In the stalk, there is branch. In the branch, leaves, bud, flower and fruit, all rooted in the soil. It's my wish and my blessing that every one of us should commit to turn this around and offer this to the next generation of people, a fertile and rich soil for them to live upon, because the very body that we carry is the soil that we walk upon. How rich the soil is, that's how rich this life will be. That is how strong this life will be. And above all, it's about the unborn child that is the future, because right now we are using up the soil of the unborn child. If we all come together in the decisions and actions we take as nations, we can ensure that the policies we define are for the benefit of everyone and not against anyone. Let us make this happen, that in this generation, before we depart, we will leave a rich soil for future generations to live their lives well with all the richness possible.